In a world where elegance conceals violence and beauty moves with a deadly rhythm, there was a girl who learned to dance. Long before she learned to kill, her name was Rooney. She was raised in the dark, echoing corridors of the Ruska Roma, the very same shadowy family that once forged the legend of John Wick. For her, the ballet was never just art. It was discipline, it was precision, it was absolute control. Every pirouette was a calculated strike. Every graceful leap, a harsh lesson in survival. Her world was a stage, but the performance was a matter of life and death. The bar was her training ground. The music, her countdown. She was being sculpted, not into a dancer, but into a weapon wrapped in silk and tulle. But then, one night changed everything. A single, faceless order descended from the shadows, and in an instant, her life shattered. Her family, the only world she had ever known, was gone. The people who destroyed her home believed they had merely erased another nameless assassin from their ledger. They thought they had tied up a loose end. But what they truly created was something else entirely. They unleashed a force of nature, a woman who would transform her unbearable grief into a deadly choreography, her burning rage into a relentless rhythm. Years passed. The fragile girl they left for dead was a distant memory. Rooney returned, not as a victim, but as a storm in human form. Every step she took was a deliberate countdown. Every fluid movement, a haunting memory of the faces she would never see again. Guided by faint whispers from the high table, and relentlessly hunted by its legion of soldiers. She moved through the underworld like a ghost, ethereal, graceful, and utterly unstoppable. Her past was a ghost story whispered in hushed tones, but her future was a promise of vengeance written in blood. Her mission was singular, absolute. To find the one person responsible for the blood on her hands and the deafening silence in her heart. Her path was a collision course with legends. She crossed paths with familiar names etched into the lore of the Continental. She walked in the shadow of Wick's own legacy, and she encountered those who understood the true price of freedom in their world. Everything with each adversary she faced, with every calculated takedown, she drew one step closer to the devastating truth and, unexpectedly, one step closer to herself. Beneath the layers of fury, beneath the scars both seen and unseen, she began to rediscover the rhythm her mother had once taught her. This time it wasn't a performance for others to watch. It was a dance for her soul to feel, a connection to the life that was stolen from her. It was a reclamation of her own identity, a quiet rebellion against the world that tried to break her. By the time the final note of her vengeful symphony faded, the stage was covered in fire and blood. The girl who once danced was gone, consumed by the flames of her own making. In her place stood a legend, a new name whispered in the darkest corners of the underworld, the Ballerina, as graceful as art, as merciless as fate. And in the world of John Wick, we know that legends never truly die. They just keep dancing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the Ballerina, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited to see in her story.